Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah. What's up, my dudes? Punting in MX Simulator is a problem, okay? Now, right off the bat, let me get this point straight across that I am in no shape, form, or fashion complaining about getting hit in this video at all. I am not whining about getting punted. That is not what this video is about whatsoever. I'm a firm believer in if you don't want to get hit, then don't let them catch up to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is actually my standpoint on it. Like, if you don't want to get hit, then be fast enough to where no one can hit you. But the problem occurs when it becomes damn bumper car simulator, and it's like it gets to that point where somebody doesn't even have to worry about their self going down because they know that they can just punch you out of the way and use you as a berm, and then it creates this very unrealistic collision feeling in the game. So JLV has made some improvements to the collision over the years. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he definitely has. He has fixed a lot of the kind of the front end lock kind of stuff you would have going on with certain collision. I remember like 2 years ago, every single time you would barely remotely just graze somebody's titties, you would instantly go down and your front end would just like, it'd be like it just went in some quicksand, you know, like just all of a sudden just went down. I mean, it was crazy. Quicksand, is that the right thing? I mean, I guess you could say ice. Fuck, I don't know if quicksand makes any sense there, but either way, you get the point. It would just like instantly the front end would go down, and so he has worked upon that. He has fixed that, but as far as the punting, where somebody can just run into you, and as long as they're going faster than you and they just kind of squarely hit you, then it's just going to send you flying and they're going to stay up perfectly fine. And it used to be a lot worse. It used to be where you could punt somebody and they would fly to literal Timbuktu and back. And now, at least, it somewhat doesn't do that as bad. But there is still a massive problem with just the sheer collision in corners. I don't know if you guys remember that race, that Supercross race I had a little while back. It was like 2 or 3 rounds ago in Supercross. It wasn't Vegas. I don't know if it was the one before that or the one before that one, but if any guys remember that, I got a pretty good start. I think it was the very last Triple Crown that they had this year, and I got hit in 2 or 3 corners, and almost, I think it was like the exact same corner, wasn't it? Like 4 or 5 times there, and I was trying to go on the outside and just hit the rut, the eroded rut properly, and people were going up the inside to be able to go for a pass. But it's like seriously though, if they just hit you at the right angle, and trust me, it seems like it's not that hard for them to do it, they will literally have zero chance of going down. It's not like in real life. You know, in real life, when you run into somebody, like, there's always that risk of going down. Well, with MX Simulator, it's almost like when you run into somebody, it's all a kind of a momentum speed game. Like, as long as you hit them hard enough, you're just going to bounce off of them, and you're not going to get that kind of front end lock and then go down. You know, so what that does, that creates more of, when people go to pass you, they just run it up in there like they wouldn't in real life every single time they go for a pass, because they know that if they don't do that, then there's a good chance they're going to go down. Like, they have to run it in there hard. Whereas, like, in real life, if you run it in there that hard, a lot of times you're just going to go down too because of the sheer force and impact. But with MX Simulator, it's like your whole bike and rider model can just ricochet off of stuff in a weird way, to where it's like it's like the faster you go and the harder you hit them, it seems like the less chance of you going down, which is a massive problem, because that breeds people wanting to do that kind of stuff. And I've just noticed that it's so frustrating when you're going into a corner and somebody runs into you so hard that it just blows you off of the track, and they just go on like they never even hit anything. I can't tell you how many times that's happened in MX Simulator, where it's like, and I don't know, certain people have a little bit of lag. I know lag can definitely help people do that. Alexis Leclerc, but let's not talk about that. But like I said, I'm not complaining about getting hit. I'm just saying lag can definitely do it. It's almost like their lag will just warp you down into the ground, and it'll act like they never even hit anything, right? So that is a massive problem that happens. But also, even if there is no lag, there's still a problem there. And I think it's a pretty big problem when you talk about just multiplayer and MX Simulator. Now, sometimes I've had one occasion, I actually had it in one of my crazy moment compilation videos where some dude ran into me in an SX corner like that really hard, ran it up in there about as hard as you could, and he hit me, and somehow I saved it, and he went down on the inside. That's only happened one time. One time. But it's not, you know how in real life, whenever you will, you remember Tomac running into, I think it was Webb not too long ago, that might have been at Daytona, something like that. You know how he ran it in there really, really hard, and it just took them both out? That happens actually quite a bit in real-life motocross. It really does. So that's why a lot of people don't run it in there that hot. But with MX Simulator, there's that problem of where as long as they get in that rut, they can push you out of that rut so easily. It's all they have to do is be going just a little bit faster than you and get in front of you just a little bit. And for some of you people that are saying, well, that's how it is in real life. No, dog, I'm not talking like how it is in real. It's like real life times 10, magnified. It really is, because in this game, it almost seems like I was saying before, the bike and the rider is almost like all one sort of melded bumper car. So you don't really have where you run into somebody and then a real chance of hitting your handlebars and then going down like in real life. It's not the same. There's a lot more where you can just run into somebody and still hold your handlebars up in this game. So that's what makes it really different there, where you can just get into that punting people and just keeping on going like nothing even happened. And I've done it to people. It's so, you feel so bad when you do it, because you're right behind somebody and all you're trying to do is pass them. At least most people are just trying to do that. All you're trying to do is pass them, so you're just trying to kind of get up the inside of them just a little bit. And if they slow down and you kind of run it up in on them a little bit, it's literally like if you're going faster, it's as if their bike doesn't even exist. That's actually how it is in MX Simulator Collision. And you're like, what the heck? It actually makes me laugh every time I do it to somebody else. Like I do that little where you just you totally just push them out of the way and take their line. It's like they just disappear off the track and you're right where they just were. That kind of vibe going on there. When you do that, it actually makes me laugh out loud because it's so silly. Like I know what's probably running through their head. Like, what the hell just happened? That's so stupid. It's just, I don't know. It's hard to explain it if you don't really play the game and you haven't really done a lot of pro racing and collision and stuff like that. But she needs some work, JLV. That's all I'm trying to get across in this video. She needs some TLC, JLB. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just does. Period. Simple. That's what it needs. And so, yeah, I just wanted to get in there and kind of talk about this, make this a bit of a discussion. I can pretty sure we can all agree on this, that yes, punting is still a problem in this game. The front end lock thing, like I said, not quite as bad as it used to be. The punting is not as bad as it used to be as far as how far it pushes you, but the sheer where someone will just run into you on the inside and where they can just knock you out of the way and you can't do anything about it, and their bike looks like they never even hit anything, that happens way too often in MX Simulator. That's my real point to this whole video. That occasion right there happens way too much. So it just, and I don't even really know how to fix it. I didn't make this game. I don't, go in there and make collision for motocross games. I don't know what the solution is, but there is a problem with that, and that's all I can say about it. All I can speak on is what I'm seeing that it's doing and how I disagree with that, but as far as how to fix it, I don't know. I don't know. You might have to change the weight of certain stuff or something, because JLV is really trying to make it to where you can have more collision without going down, right? And you can do that a lot more in the game whenever you'll be right beside somebody and you're both kind of going the same speed down a straightaway and you're just kind of running into each other. You can stay up a lot easier than you used to could back in the day. And you can stay up a lot easier in the first turn corner a lot easier than you could back in the day. But when it comes to somebody going faster than you into a corner and they go right up on the inside of you. It's not even that they have to hit you all that hard. You guys saw that Alexis Leclerc little incident there at the end of my pro motocross race. I mean, it ain't even like he really hit me all that hard. He just rode right where I was, basically. But it wasn't like he slammed me or anything, but like I couldn't do anything. It just locked me out of the controls of my bike, basically. You know, that's pretty much what it does. It's like they convert all of their kinetic force energy to you, and so you can't do anything, and they just buzz right by you. You know, that kind of seems like what happens there. So, yeah, I don't know. It's frustrating as hell. But like I'm saying, as far as just JLV's trying to make it to where you can have more collision, and you can, but not in like a straight up corner where someone just comes up on the inside of you. You know, that's the one spot that it still has an issue there. So, yeah, I don't know. Definitely let me know in the comments what you guys think, but that's just my own personal observation of it. It gets a little bit ridiculous when it seems like every single person going around you, as long as they, quote unquote punch you, nothing's going to happen to their bike. It's not like they run up into you, punch you, and then they fall down too. That's actually pretty rare for that to happen in this game. Way more times than not, it's they run into you, you fall down, and they're still going like nothing even. It's like they just hit a berm. Like, you can literally use other people's bikes as berms in this game, if you didn't know that. Like, that's actually a thing. Like, if you have a really flat, if you're racing on a super flat track with a bunch of other people and somebody's on the outside, all you got to do is run into them, and that's your berm. It sort of kicks your bike straight a little bit. It kind of kicks it to whatever that corner, if they're on the outside of the corner, you run up the inside, you run into them, then it'll just you'll kind of bounce off of that dude just like you would off the berm in that corner, and that's just not how it should be, man. There should be more risk to the person that's going in for the kill there. There needs to be more risk of them going down too. You know what I'm saying? Because that seems like once you get into the pro realm, it's either that's about the only way people pass in this game. I mean, that's it. It's either like that, or they're not even really able to get around you, basically, or they're just flying by you on a straightaway or something like that. But, I mean, and I'm not saying Alexis Leclerc was really trying to run into me, or any of those guys was really trying to run into me. That's not what I'm even getting at in this video. Like I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. It's not that the punting is like they're really intentionally trying to punch you off the track. They're just trying to do one of those little, just kind of bump and grind passes, a little love tap, a little love kiss to get around you. And what it does is it just kind of puts you in the dirt, throws you down in the dirt, and then they just ricochet off you like nothing. So that's what I'm saying. There is occasions where people just drive straight into you. They don't care if they crash at all and you both go down, right? Like just a raw, straight up, wide open T-bone punt. Like, yes, that's probably going to take both of you out. But I'm talking about, just those where you're just trying to go up the inside, just, not super aggressive, not super hard contact pass, just a contact pass. That kind of thing is what I'm saying here, is where it just seems to do that. Either you're going to get punted over and nothing's going to happen to their bike, or somehow you're magically going to stay on your bike, and that's very rare for that to happen when they do that. Like I said, I've only had that happen one time in this game. So, when it gets to that point where the person that is running up the inside of you feels like there really is no risk to running up the inside of you, that's when there's the problem, and that just creates every single time someone goes for a pass, it's just, run up the inside of them, and you're just going to kind of muscle them out of the way, and they're probably going to go down. Just because, it seems like with MX Simulator, any little thing that, it's all based on who's got the momentum and who's got the speed. That's where and then the force is put into whoever doesn't have the momentum and the speed. So if you do have the momentum and the speed, it's as if you never hit anything. But if you don't have the momentum and the speed, it's like a damn rhino ran over you. That's kind of what it is. And I know real life is like that to a certain extent, but it's not like MX Simulator. It's just not. Like I'm saying, in real life, you got the whole risk of bumping them with your handlebars and instantly going down. You've got the risk of just just laying it plumb over, getting hung up with their bike, getting a foot hung up, this, that, and another, kind of like Villapoto and Stewart did that one year in Supercross. I don't know if Stewart kicked Villapoto's bike or if they got hung up. I don't know what happened on that, but you guys probably remember that if you remember that one race there. All different, seems like in real life, there's no telling what's going to happen when someone runs up the inside of somebody, when they're really trying to do that. Or if they're just trying to do not a super hard contact pass, just kind of one of those medium contact pass, a lot of times they run into them and you're still able, the person that got hit is still able to stay up on their bike. It's not like they just get totally punted over. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're able, it's like in real life, a lot more times both bikes are able to stay up, whereas MX Simulator, it's more of a one guy stays up, one guy goes down more times than not, right? So that's kind of the comparison there. But either way, that's my opinion on it. Punting needs some fixing, and hopefully we'll see some improvements to that. But it's just it's a frustrating thing in the racing of this game, where you got to be so consistent, and if you can get up in the front and someone that's not even faster than you can get in a position to make one of those punt style passes really easily. That's the thing. Like, they can, with MX Simulator, a lot of times, especially if you pass them in one corner, right, and a lot of times they're able to do that as soon as they get you in the next corner, and there's not a whole lot you can do about it. Even though they may be twice as slow as you, they just happen to have that little bit of track position and able to do one of those punt passes on you, so that becomes really annoying. But either way, man, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.